Hey, Justin Popovich here from toolsformotivation.com, and welcome to our special training video here where I'm going to show you some creative ways to use a large multi-part PLR product. This is actually going to include specific tips and tricks, examples you can model, and we're going to be using one of our partners' products. Her name is J.R. Lang, and she produces a wide variety of PLR content. It's similar to what we do at Tools for Motivation in the sense that you have lots of items of content components to choose from. The way she rolls out her packages is different from ours, but you can apply these concepts to almost any PLR that you really buy that's out on the market right now. But you're seeing the emergence of some larger packages now where vendors are actually including dozens of different options for you in their PLR packages of what you're able to use. And so you need to make sure that you understand what's available, how to get creative in terms of using it so you can build unique content. And by using this particular example here today, I hope to get you inspired to really try this with any of the PLR programs that you're downloading today. So let me give you a quick demo of the product we're going to be featuring here. Now, at the time of shooting this video, JR's latest package here is called Grief and Loss, Healing from All the Losses We Face in Life. So this is a really big topic in the self-improvement or self-help space, but this would expand to many other niches as well. And I'll kind of let you brainstorm on that as you think through this particular example. And even if you're not using this exact product, the concepts will apply to any PLR that you're buying that includes things that I'm going to show you here, like eBooks, reports, checklists, articles, and so on. I'm going to show you all of it. So just to give you an idea, this is her sales page, and I'm actually going to show you a more condensed breakdown of it. But if I quickly scroll down here, you can see that JR's product starts with a larger ebook. It's 42 pages, just around 8,000 words long, and it talks about the journey of grief and loss, letting the healing process begin. So with this type of PLR, JR is including a full book broken down into a number of different chapters here in table of contents, but then she's also including all of the sales collateral that goes with it. So your e-covers, your sales page, different graphics, and so on. There's an email autoresponder series that'll help you actually sell this book via email if you're doing email marketing. There's a workbook that goes with it, and then there's a bunch of supporting material here. Again, rather than walking you through the whole sales page, I've actually split out the individual components here on a separate view. So let me walk you through that. So this little view here will summarize it a little bit more clearly for you. I talked about this first piece already, the 42-page ebook. Think of this as the core, right? This would be the main kind of premium piece of content that you could sell. You could literally take the ebook that JR's team has written here, save it as a PDF, and then publish that for sale. We're actually going to open it behind the scenes and show you a bit more. Then JR's package also includes, I mentioned this again, the 177-page editable printable workbook. Again, this would get people implementing, testing out, trying the ideas and concepts from the main ebook. That comes in really handy when you start working with people and let's say, for example, coaching, mentoring, even offering like some kind of membership service where people are joining in and working with you or working with a group. That comes in handy. Then there is this 15-minute e-course. It's sort of it's a PowerPoint presentation that you can use as is, or you can actually change it up to create your own presentation. And it gets people learning the same concepts, but done in sort of a course delivery format. Then there are 2 checklists that go through some concepts. So grief is a healing process and 20 ways to find comfort. These are short, but when you think about branding content that you need to publish online to maybe get some people's attention and get them looking at some of your other offers, these come in handy. There's an 11-page report, 40 ways to find comfort during times of grief. So if you're doing list building, lead generation, great report to give away. Or if you're trying to enhance the main ebook to add additional chapters or some supplemental reading, you could attach it to that ebook. We'll go through some of these examples. There's a 21-page report over and above that first report called Dealing with Common Losses and Grief Humans Feel During a Pandemic. So if you're watching this at the time this came out, that's what's going on in the world right now. This package was originally created to go hand in hand with the pandemic, but again, it doesn't have to be geared towards that particular talk track. It's one option that you have here. There's also 26 articles in this package. So for me, when I look at purchasing PLR, I would look at something like this and say, okay, I can get 26 articles. They're over 500 words each, which is an extensive amount of content. And that's just one feature of a whole slew of things I'm getting with this product. Then I look at the cost of entry and automatically it's a no-brainer. That's why I love JR's products. That's why I chose her to demo this in this video. And then this particular program as well has all different kinds of graphics, and there's some bonus material about self-compassion. It has a report, it has a checklist, and some articles as well. So at the end of the day, when you look at my screen here, we have a whole bunch of different content that we can start working with and start coming up with a series of ideas of things that we can start publishing under our own brand to build a following, to connect with our audience, make sales if we need to, or even if just want to grow our list. We have a bunch of material to get working with here. So for our first example of how to use a multi-part PLR product, let's focus on the most obvious one here, publishing an ebook that you can either sell or give away. Now, one thing I want to mention here quickly before we dive in is you need to understand the license, the terms of use for each PLR product that you purchase. In this particular example, JR allows you to take the contents of the ebook and publish it as something that you sell. You can publish it for free. You can even extract the chapters and the different sections of the book and publish them on your website or your blog. Not all PLR companies allow you to do all of those things. So keep all of that in mind as you go through this. And just understand that you will have limitations based on the licensing from the company that you purchase from. So here is the Word doc version of the ebook here, The Journey of Grief and Loss, Let the Healing Process Begin. Now you can take a look here. This is the style that JR's PLR comes in. I'm not going to go through the whole ebook. If you were to purchase this package, you could read through it. But you can just see here, there's a substantial amount of content. If I actually scroll back up here and stop at the section here, the table of contents, you can read through and see it goes through quite a bit of detail, right? It has an introduction, it talks about what grief is, types of losses, then it breaks down the different types of grief, the importance of dealing with grief, normal and typical grief reactions, and it goes on and on here. There's a significant amount of depth. So what you'll want to do, the first thing is decide how deep do you want to go? Do you want to just take the ebook as is? Let me just scroll down to a section here. Here's a good one here with a nice graphic. So here's a section where it says what happens when we deny ourselves the grieving process. And it's got a graphic and it explains this whole concept in quite a bit of depth. So you as the PLR buyer, you would need to go through each section of the book and decide, do I want to publish this as is, or do I want to expand on the message, enhance it, customize and tailor it to my voice for my audience, and so on. And that will also depend on how the PLR is written. So what I would do for this section as an example is I would read this. So it goes into several points here. I would read to the end of this section, and then I would decide, do I want to add or remove anything from here? Maybe I get to the end of this section right here where it goes through these bullet points about here's a look at what might occur when you deny yourself the grieving process, and it goes through these different bullet points. Maybe you want to move some text down here and add your own story. Add a story. You might want to add a graphic. It could even be a photo of yourself or you speaking to an audience if you do personal branding. Again, what you want to keep in mind anytime you use PLR is that you are totally allowed to customize and tailor the message to your audience. So I would do this for each section. I would want to consider what do I want this message to say? Is the PLR enough, or do I need to enhance this, change it, remove from it, and so on? Also notice here, I did this before I came on camera, is I inserted a header. You might want to do a footer. It's up to you. I inserted a little header here where it brands my company. So if you have some kind of home base, let's say it's a blog for your author page or a blog for your business, your coaching practice, whatever it may be, you might want to add a link to that or to a landing page or to a Facebook fan page that you're building your brand on, so that when this book gets published, whether you're selling it or giving it away for free, that it's doing more than just sharing the information, it's also giving you a chance to brand yourself. So I just happen to put it here in the header. you might want to put it in the footer. If you want to look at other options, here's an example right over here. I actually went into Google Docs and I did a file open, and I actually opened the Word doc that came with this PLR in Google Docs. So if you don't like working with Microsoft Word, or you just want to try some other options, it all copied over to Google Docs quite nicely here. It still has, I can still go in and like say, for example, insert a footer. Just the way I did there. Let's put it here. Let's insert a footer, and we'll say toolsformotivation.com. Insert a hyperlink there. And maybe center it. Maybe make it bold as well. So now we've got this footer showing up on all of the pages. So that's what I did in Word. But again, I just wanted to point this out because not everybody likes working with Microsoft Word, or some people have issues with the formatting. And if you want to try Google Docs, it actually pasted over quite nicely here. The formatting is quite good. So you could go through in Google Docs here, make any changes that you want as well, just like I was demoing in Word. And then at the end, you can just publish this as a PDF. And the same thing happens with Microsoft Word as well. Now, once it's in PDF format, now you need to decide, do I want to sell this? Let's look at the Word one here. Do I want to sell this? Do I want to give it away for free? Am I publishing on my blog? All of those questions need to be answered by you. But the fact of the matter is, once you have it in this PDF format, you now have an asset that can help you in your company. Again, whether you're selling it, whether you're giving it away, it's an asset that you can now publish. Okay, the next example here I want to mention is enhanced blog posts. Now, these can be used to attract loyal followers and subscribers, in the sense that a lot of people come to a blog and will just kind of read a quick tip or get like a checklist of things, or like my top 10 favorite books, whatever. The concept of an enhanced blog post is to write something more in depth that maybe a good chunk of your readers would gloss over and just hit the back button. But then there's going to be a certain percentage of people that dig into that blog post and get a ton of value out of it and realize, wow, I could have paid for this information. This blogger or this whoever it is, this expert that's sharing information is really going above and beyond to give me some great information. And so when you create an enhanced blog post, you're giving yourself the opportunity to connect with a new reader and turn them into a follower or a subscriber on your mailing list, somebody that's going to stick with you for the long haul. And so the idea here would be to build a blog post that's more in depth than just kind of like one of those quick hit pieces. And the way you would do it, there's several ways you can do it. The way I'm going to show you here is by taking advantage of the fact that this PLR product I'm demoing to you here comes with tons of different pre-written articles, and they're in depth. They're lengthy, so you have a lot of different information that you can pull. And if you get creative with it, you can build something completely unique to your blog and create several of these enhanced blog posts that can then take people further down your funnel, or at least get them on your list and starting to follow you on a regular basis. So as an example, here are those 26 articles from this Overcoming Grief package from JR. If I just quickly kind of scan through these for you, you can see here 5 supportive actions to help those grieving. So you can see it's a fairly in-depth article. It's got specific tips in here. So be genuine, just be there, offer practical support, let them talk about the deceased, so on and so forth. Next one down, 5 ways the grief process can be unhealthy. So it goes through some of the unhealthy patterns there. Let's go down here. Finding real comfort during grief. Take care of yourself, reach out, pursue your interests, modify and stick to your routine, consider grief counseling. So there's all kinds of very important advice here. Any one of these may stick with the reader, may kind of give them an aha moment, or just give them that little bit of relief or inspiration that they're looking for, and you don't really know which one is going to work for your reader. So what you might want to do in the case of an enhanced blog post is come up with one concept where you can go through all of these articles and pull out some of your favorite tips from each, and at the end of that process, you have a fairly lengthy blog post. So what I've done here, I did a little bit off camera, was I went ahead and started creating a little sample blog post where I went through these different articles here and started coming up with an enhanced blog post idea. I'm just using our blog here at Tools for Motivation. This wouldn't be probably the right place to post something like this, but it's just giving you an example of what you could do on a blogging platform. So I just called the blog post Overcome Grief Sample Blog Post. It's really this: important reminders as you deal with losses in life. And then you can see what I did. I just started taking components of different parts of these articles here. So I already showed you this laundry list of them here. I grabbed, there was a couple here, common losses. There was another one about the grieving process. And I opened up those articles. So you can see here, I opened them up in Word. And I was just grabbing bits and pieces of the articles to start formulating this longer blog post. So you can see here, I just gave this little title, and then this whole section here of text that you're looking at, this was all just pasted in from this part of one of these articles here. So I pasted that in, I kind of worked out some of the formatting so it looked good in the blog. And then at the beginning of the blog post, you can see it right here, this was me actually in the editing mode, I inserted an image here using WordPress. So I said add media, and then this actual image also came from the PLR package in JR's program over here that we were looking at. If you remember, all of the different, I think it's this one right down here, all of these different reports come with royalty-free images. So you can see here, JR is including them in this package, and a lot of PLR providers will do that now. So you're not just getting the text, you're actually getting these other assets that can help you do the creative things that I'm showing you right now. So I didn't have to go looking around for special images. I literally just went into the folder that I got for this product. And then as I was building the blog post, I was able to insert it here. Now I might want to adjust the sizing a little bit. I left justified it there so that it would show up here. I reduced the size a bit there because it is a bit overwhelming. So let me just do that and preview the page again. It should reduce that image size there. Good. And now we can start reading. So the first section of this enhanced blog post is about common losses, and we have that discussion with our reader. Then I have a little line that breaks it up here. Then I go into the second section of my enhanced blog post, understanding the grief process, healthy versus unhealthy responses. So this second section of my enhanced blog post is just another article from JR's package here. Where is it? It's this guy here. Now in this case, I actually took the entire 700-word article and I pasted the whole thing into my blog here. Again, pulling another image that in this case I right justified it. I pulled the image right out of the PLR package, and it's just giving my blog post a bit of variety. It's not just plain text. There's some imagery here that will help the reader along. And then all of the text that you're reading here is literally copied right out of that PLR article. So it goes through healthy responses, unhealthy responses. Again, I might want to insert some additional things here. If I really want to give my viewer or my reader here the full experience of my knowledge and expertise, then I might want to break this enhanced blog post up even further. So as an example, I might want to let's say this first section here where I'm talking about losses, right? And before I get into the whole grieving process, I might insert a little video here of my personal summary of what it's like to deal with loss, or a summary of common losses that people experience throughout life. If you're doing personal branding, let's say you're a coach or a speaker, an author that writes under your own name, this could be a great opportunity to connect with your audience at that one-to-one level. They've just read something powerful from you, and now they're seeing you on camera with a little YouTube video embedded of you kind of summarizing that section. But they're only done part one of your enhanced blog post. So you can see that if you really spent a bunch of time here, you could write a blog post that's maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 words in length. Not everybody's going to read it, but the people that do will likely get so much value that they'll join your list, they'll want to see what else you have. Maybe they'll even connect with you and look at some of the other services or things that you're offering in your business. So it can be really good for branding. There's a time and place for both. Short blog posts with quick hit information is great, but doing these enhanced blog posts is something that can really be beneficial for list building and business building. Now, the next concept I wanted to touch on here was the idea of creating audio or podcast series content. And this is a way to diversify the message formatting that you're using. Not everybody's just going to look at your ebooks or read your blog posts. A lot of people will want to watch videos of you or listen to audio snippets of you. Again, if you're doing personal branding, which is most of the people I talk to, most of the people that come to Tools for Motivation are personally branding themselves, whether they're selling a coaching package or they're an author or some kind of combination. Even if you're just getting started in your blogging, people are still looking to you and your personality. It's not just the content, it's the person that's delivering the message or that's writing those email messages, right? So audio is a great way of just enhancing that connection. And it could be something as simple as just going through a PLR package like the one I've been demoing and picking and choosing things that you will record into your own voice. And it could be just small little segments. You don't have to have a giant audiobook and put that up for sale and that's the be all and end all. It could be 5-minute little audio snippets where you're giving pieces of advice. Again, we'll focus in this particular example on grieving, loss, overcoming loss, and so on. And you could put a whole bunch of audio segments together to, again, use that as branding. So here's another example here. This is SoundCloud.com. Very similar to YouTube, except SoundCloud is for audio content. So you can create an account at SoundCloud for free. You can also upgrade to be able to share more stuff. But basically, here's your chance to create different audio segments that you can either promote directly on this website, or each and every audio that you upload to SoundCloud can then be embedded on your blog posts. So even if you remember earlier, I was creating that enhanced blog post. If I wanted to record audio segments that take this whole discussion around grieving and loss further, I could record a bunch of them, upload them to SoundCloud here. They live on their own in the SoundCloud world, which it allows them to do branding and marketing. So for example, let me actually pop this one open here. I'm going to pause it because it'll start playing, I believe. And you can see here, we're using this to brand our business. So we're saying for more information, you could go to our website. So you could do the same thing. Every audio you record, you can insert an image, you can insert a link to your website so it does some promotions for you. But then you can also share it and get some embed code here and grab this and pop it into your blog post. Let me actually do that here. This isn't going to match the topic, but you'll get the idea. And if we go back to our blog post that we're working on, if I want to add some audio, I just need to go to our text display here in WordPress and paste in the code that came from the embed code that came from SoundCloud. And you can see here, it embeds an audio segment into our blog post. So if I preview that now, you can see very quickly that now my blog post has yet another element to it. And it's this little audio segment here.
The power of state control.
Okay, so now, again, this particular audio doesn't match what I'm doing, but the idea being that instead of just limiting yourself to text-based content, very quickly you can start going through material, like in this case, JR has created a whole bunch of articles. You could narrate one per day and upload it to SoundCloud. Over the course of 26 days, you would have 26 pieces of audio content. An article is usually 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes in length. So it's not like a huge amount of audio, and it won't take you all that long to record. Not to mention the fact that if you do this every day, you're going to develop the skill of narrating content into audio, which is a great skill to have in the online publishing world. It's just another way for you to brand yourself online. So why not develop that skill and get better at it? But more importantly, you could also start going back over here to, let's say, for example, here, this full ebook, and turning this into audio segments. You could either record a full audio book, or you could just pick and choose segments of this particular book that you like. As an example here, 27 ways to find comfort during the grieving process. Maybe you just narrate all 27 of these and put them into groups of 9. Now you have 3 little audio segments where you're giving out 9 tips per day over the course of 3 days with 27 useful tips. Each one of those becomes a piece of audio content that you upload to SoundCloud. You can syndicate it on your blog. You can share it on Facebook. You can share it on Instagram if you get creative in terms of turning it into a video. An Instagram video could literally just be a slide with the audio playing, right? So once you have it in audio format, you have all these other ways of using it. So I really wanted to mention that because With a package like JR's, you're working with so much content here, and all you're needing to do is just pull out little bits and pieces, record them into audio segments and bits. It doesn't have to be a giant project. And when you do that little bits at a time, you're going to accumulate a whole bunch of branding content that can really serve you and your business. Most importantly, your followers, giving them an option to listen to your content instead of just reading it. All right, the next example I've touched on quite a bit if you've looked at my other trainings, but I wanted to mention it again because it's just so important. Finding targeted lead generation opportunities. We're basically finding high quality prospects. When you get a PLR package like the one I've been demoing here, or like a lot of the ones we sell at Tools for Motivation, you can actually get quite creative and build very, very powerful lead magnets that find you perfect prospects for your business. So I'm going to show you an example of one of our funnels, and then we'll talk a little bit about how you might want to use this particular product from JR in a similar fashion. Okay, so for example, here is one of our older lead generation pages. It still works. We're using other stuff as well now, but this one goes with the theme of, hey, if you want 5 motivational audiobooks you can sell as your own, opt in here and we'll send it to you, right? So it's a pretty, we're giving away a lot of value here. And again, with JR's package, you could do the exact same thing. If we look at her product, which is right here, you could take there was a couple of these reports here, a 21-page report on dealing with common losses, and there was this one here, the 11-page report on 40 ways to find comfort during times of grief. What I would do with this one is I would take the 11-page report and the 21-page report, put those together into a single zip file and give them both away on a page kind of like the one I'm showing you here, where it's like, hey, do you want a couple of reports on this? All you got to do is sign up. And then what happens is when the subscriber puts their name and email and clicks get it now, we bring them to a bridge page kind of like this. It says, thanks for signing up. Please check your email and confirm your subscription. Also check out the offer below. And then this is where you might want to then offer the ability for them to purchase your full ebook here. And if you did what I was talking about earlier and you've started recording some of the audio, you could actually bundle up the ebook itself with some of the audio that you've done. And that could be a premium package that you're selling for an entry-level price, but let's say it's $20 to $40 type of price range. Now you're selling this book on that upsell page. So for us, what we do here is we're just selling more audio. We're just selling more of the same. So you're opting in for some free audio and we're offering you more. So in your case, it could be, here's some free content on overcoming grief, and here's like a full product I've written for you with support and so on. You can buy it here, and if you don't want it, then just check your email and then you can download it. And then there's 3 pages in total. There's the lead generation or lead capture page. There's this bridge page that says thanks for signing up, check your email, but also there's an offer. And then there's the landing page where they can download it. Now you can get creative. We have different styles that we try here at Tools for Motivation. This one's a bit of a softer sell where we just say, hey, thanks for signing up. Here's some ideas on how you can use it. Go ahead and download it. For you might want to put a sales message before this, right? Hey, a reminder that we've got this package for sale. And again, it's maybe you selling that grief book that we talked about or whatever it is that you're using in your business. And then further down, they download their freebie. It's entirely up to you. But you can see that you could build a funnel like this very, very quickly when you're equipped with all of this stuff that JR is providing you with. You have your main book that you can sell already written for you. Hopefully you've done some of the work I said earlier in terms of branding the book, putting links to your website and so on. But you've got your sellable information here. You've got these reports down here that will allow you to give them away for free as a lead gen. And then you have everything you need to really build that funnel that we've just walked through. I should also mention, just to kind of finish that thought on lead generation, that with JR's package, she's also written 7 newsletters or email marketing messages that if somebody signs up for that first option to get the couple of free reports, but they haven't bought your main offer, then you can continue to remind them and give them valuable tips about this topic. And then if you want, do some promotion of that book in here. So she's done all of the email marketing for you as well, which is an important piece of the lead generation. And again, it depends on how much you want to market here or just deliver free value. But that's the beauty of PLR, is you decide how much or how little of this process that you want to use. Maybe you just want to soft sell the book and really focus on delivering the information and building your brand. That's great. And you can do it with these newsletters. Again, they're written for you. That's going to save you a lot of time in that lead generation process by simply copying, pasting these into your autoresponder. The key being that you had a great high value piece of content to give away for free to get them on your list. And now you've got this great information to continue to engage with them. And if they happen to buy your premium material, even better. So I've showed you some of the key creative ways that you can use a large multi-part PLR product. I will kind of finish this off by saying what I showed you today was by no means exhaustive. There are dozens of other ways that you could be using this material, especially when it comes into building material for social media and driving traffic to your offers. But I really wanted to point out these 4 key things that I showed you today, because that's where a lot of the heavy lifting is done. You'll get a lot of traction for your business if you use these types of PLR products that have multiple components, reports, ebooks, articles. If you start using them creatively like I showed you today and building these types of assets and doing it on a consistent basis, you'll have a ton of material for your brand that will attract customers in a variety of different formats. So look at PLR for what it is. It gives you a lot of variety, but it allows you to create unique things at the end of the day if you follow some of the examples that I showed you here. So if you have any questions, head over to toolsformotivation.com and hit up the contact page. We're more than happy to chat with you or answer any questions that you may have about this training or about PLR in general. We'd love to hear from you. I really hope you got value from this, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.